before we start, I'd like to do this mantra together, which is Om RUTSIRA Mani Prawartaya Hum, and that's in the chat box. And that's because this is for blessing the mala. And it's in the daily mantras in the practice that's posted in the materials of how to transform suffering into happiness. I can't remember the whole thing right at the moment, but it's a practice that Lama Zopa Rinpoche wants all his students to do every day. And I love doing these different mantras because they multiply the merit by mind-blowingly big numbers. So this mantra will increase the power of the mantra by 1 sextillion times, which is 10 million times 1 billion times 100,000 times. So amazing, just a few mantras and we get all this extra benefit. So we just do it 7 times. Yep. Om RUTSIRA Mani Prawartaya Hum. 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 And then you blow on your mala and rub it all around. And now your mala is blessed. And during the practice, I'll screen share so that you can see the Vajrasattva mantra and picture of Vajrasattva. But to start, let's just take a few moments to settle our mind. And so just find a comfortable posture. The most important part being that your back is straight. And we want to just settle a bit so that our mind is more focused. And so you can half close your eyes or close your eyes completely. And take a few nice deep breaths. And when you've done that, just let your breathing return to normal. And we're going to start by generating a Bodhichitta Motivation. This is the most important part of doing our daily activities, our practices, is when we have a motivation in order to benefit all sentient beings, then it has such amazing power. It makes it huge. It's not just for one person. It's not just for our friends. It's not for friends and strangers. It's for friends, enemies, strangers, all sentient beings, no matter what form they're in, animals, hell beings, whatever, any being with a mind. We're doing this practice to benefit them. Without leaving a single one out. And a really brief way to think that to yourself is, may all the actions of my body, speech, and mind only benefit others. And so as part of this practice, an integral core of it is the 4 opponent powers. And the first power is the power of regret. And so we want to think about anything that we've done with our body, speech, or mind. And it's good to just start with today. Anything that you can recollect that you've done that maybe was not skillful. It might have been accidentally killing sentient beings, little bugs, with your car when you drove. Maybe it was something careless that you said that maybe hurt someone's feelings. Or maybe you just had angry thoughts that disturbed your mind. And we know that when we have our delusions arising, when we do negative actions, that just is simply creating causes that we're going to experience suffering in the future. And because we don't want to suffer, then it makes sense that we would regret having done those things. It's not a heavy, guilty feeling of I'm so bad. Those are just more angry thoughts directed at yourself. You know, it's just simply, I wish I hadn't done that because I don't want to experience these results. And acknowledging the mistakes that we make is an absolute first step necessary to being able to accept our flaws. And then we can set a motivation to start changing them. If we don't even admit our mistakes, then we're just going to keep repeating them. And then in addition to anything that maybe we've done today, we want to have a general idea of any mistakes that we've made in the past. We can use specific ones if they've been lingering and bothering us. Anything we can remember. But then it's also to remember anything that we might have done in our past lives. And because we've had countless past lives, we've done countless negative things. And so just this general regret for any mistakes we've made in any of our lives. And then who can we turn to? This becomes the power of reliance, which is Vajrasattva. And Vajrasattva is this perfect manifestation in order to help us purify. Manifestation of Vajradhara. This is his job. And so visualizing on the crown of your head, Vajrasattva seated on the lotus. And if you're having trouble with the visualization at all, you can use the picture that should be on your screen. And just keep refreshing that motivation or that visualization. And the most important thing is to get that feeling of a white light body. And so even if it's just this feeling of a bright white light, and if it helps, you can think of it like imagining the way a CGI animator would create this moving, living Buddha. Vajrasattva's very alive, but made of light, not like an ordinary flesh body like ours. And he's completely full of perfect wisdom and compassion, holding a Vajra and bell. And we say this prayer of refuge. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And so we know what it's like to suffer. And it's when our mind and our body is afflicted with delusions and illness. We know how painful that is. And so if we just think that all sentient beings experience these same types of suffering, we can really relate to that. And we wouldn't wish that on anyone. And so we generate this compassion that may all sentient beings be free of that suffering. And for that reason, we want to purify anything that we've done to harm them, cause them that pain. We must purify for their sake so that we don't continue doing these actions. And so first we think about mistakes of the body. And as we say the mantra of Vajrasattva, imagine that a strong stream of white nectar, blissful, comes down from Vajrasattva, enters through the crown of your head and begins to wash your body completely clean, pushing out any negativities of your actions of body through your lower orifices as a black inky liquid that as soon as it exits, just dissipates. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denu Patita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anulaktu Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sita Kun Sarvatata Vajra Mahamaha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denu Patita Dido Mebawa Supokaya Meba Dakti Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bahamaha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denu Patita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Supushayo Mebawa Anudaktu Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bahamaha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Supposhayo Mebawa, Suposhayo Mebawa, Anadaktu Mebawa, Sarva Siddhi Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bahamaha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denu Patita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anadaktu Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bahamaha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denu Patita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anudaktu Mebawa Sarva Siddhi Memparyatsa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tata Gata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bahamaha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Mepayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. And think how delightful, how wonderful that all your negativities of body are completely purified. And then we continue with purifying negativities of speech. So anything you might have said that was just idle speech, wasting time, gossip, talking about others behind their back, harsh speech, criticizing all the time, divisive speech, causing people to not like each other. Vajrasattva again sends down powerful nectar, filling your body, pushing all those negativities, this time up. The nectar is pushing this black inky liquid up to the top of your head and coming out. Again, as that black liquid that just completely dissipates, gone forever. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshaya Mebawa Suposhaya Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Menprayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshaya Mebawa Supushaya Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Menprayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshaya Mebawa Suposhaya Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Mepayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Mepayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshaya Mebawa Suposhaya Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Mepayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshaya Mebawa Suposhaya Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Mepayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshaya Mebawa Suposhaya Mebawa Anadakta Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Mepayatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kudurhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabahamaha Samaya Sapa Ahum Pe. And now your body is filled with nectar, and all of your actions of speech that were negative are now completely purified. Fantastic. And then we purify any of our delusions, our negative thoughts, We might have some control over our body and speech, but it's especially hard to control the thoughts that might pop into our head. But Vajrasattva very compassionately sends down light rays, sends down a strong light ray that enters the crown of your head and completely illuminates inside your body, like a light being turned on in a dark room. And it purifies all of these negative actions of the mind. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurati Mebhawa Sarvasiddhi Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavans Memutsavaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurakti Mebhawa Sarvasiddhi Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Memutsa Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurakti Mebhawa Sarvasiddhi Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Memutsa Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrapatita Didamebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurakti Mebhawa Sarvasiddhi Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Memutsa Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurakti Mebhawa Sarvasiddhi Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Memutsa Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Ahum Pe Om Bodhaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurakti Mebhawa Riyatsa Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Me Mahasam Sattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Mebhawa Suposhaya Mebhawa Anurakti Mebhawa Sarvasiddhi Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Memutsa Vajrabaha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe that all our completely body is filled with light. And then finally, we also purify any residue that may be left. Just like the smell may remain in the trash, but there's still that smell lingering. Similarly, any lingering results of our negative actions that might be obstacles to our enlightenment. Vajrasattva sends light rays, which can completely illuminate our body, purifying. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita Didamebhawa Sutoshaya Meparyatsa Sarvakarma Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Om Vajrasattva Bhava Supushaya Me Bhava Anurakti Me Bhava Sarvasiddhi Me Paryatsa Sarvakarma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kurahum Havan Sarvatata Gata Vajrama Me Mut Vajrabahamaha Sapa Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Me Bhava Supushaya Me Bhava Sarvasiddhi Memparyatsa Sarvakama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kaho Bhagavan Sarvatada Gata Vajrama Mutta Vajrabahamaha Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Patena Patita Me Bhava Suposhaya Sarvasiddhi Memparyate Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatada Gata Vajramame Vajrabaham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Didum Me Bhava Sutoshaya Me Bhava Suposhaya Me Bhava Anarati Me Bhava Sarvasiddhi Memparyatsa Sarvakarma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Gata Vajramam Mahasa Sapa Ahum Sapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dena Patita Me Bhava Sutoshaya Me Bhava Suposhaya Me Bhava Anaratim Siddhi Me Paryatsa Sarvakarma Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabahamahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Suposhaya Me Bhava Anaraktim Me Bhava Sarvasiddhi Memparyatsa Sarvakarma Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Ahum Pe. Now you are completely purified. Not even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience, to enlightenment, completely purified. And then we need to set that very important resolve not to repeat these mistakes. And if we have a specific recent we're working with, then we can set a specific time period, like I will not think angry thoughts for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or until the morning, whatever you think you can actually keep, so that you can rejoice in it when you do keep it. And if you can't, then you just keep on it. Very specific goals to not repeat these mistakes. Also a general wish that I keep perfect morality, many sentient beings. And Guru Vajrasattva is so pleased with us. To dissolve in, and so it melts into blissful white light our heads. So that he becomes with Vajrasattva, which is also inseparable from our Guru. My Guru's body, speech, and Vajrasattva's body. And think in emptiness, there is no I, creator of negative karma. There is no outside. And then we can do these dedication verses. May all the virtues karma practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may bodhicitta, from which the happiness of all sentient beings comes, be generated in the minds of self and other sentient beings without delay, even for 1 second, and that which has been generated, may it increase. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may emptiness be generated in the minds of self and others, sentient beings, without delay, even for 1 second, and may that which has been generated, may it increase. As a result of the 3 times merits of myself and others, may I, who am empty from my own side, achieve Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment, which is empty from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are empty from their own side to that enlightenment which is empty from its own side as quickly as possible by myself alone. And especially dedicating to the long lives of all of our gurus, our precious teachers. May they remain and teach us and guide us. May we stay close to them until we are enlightened and until all sentient beings are enlightened. And then really rejoice that you have spent this half hour doing such meaningful work. Couldn't have made better use of your time. So wonderful you made this effort. So thank you so much. I know it's a very quick.
Thank you.